Okay, officially good morning. Welcome. Welcome to the Options Income Launchpad Monday market kickoff as we translate our market posture into our trading posture. So we go from how do we see the market overall to now what? Now what? What are you doing today? Morning, Sandy. Let's go take a quick gander at everything. But first and foremost, let me remind you what we're doing here is for education and illustrative purposes only. Nothing we do or say should be intended or construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any financial security product. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. We don't give advice. Any decisions made should be done so at your own risk. Yada, yada, and yada. Okay. What are we going to talk about today as a group? Opening futures. How does it look? What's the news as we come in? What's the news expected to be released today? What's the news we're expecting this week? We're just trying to orient ourselves around what's happening, where, and when. A big chunk of news was some apparent progress in trade talks with China. They're going to apparently start buying our soybeans, which are sitting in warehouses. I don't know. Are they? Are they just sitting on the plants waiting to be harvested and then we'll sell them? I'm not sure how it works, but apparently they hadn't bought any of our soybeans and now they're going to. That's great news. Great news. We'll see, but there seems to be some progress on trade with China, which is a big one, obviously. No progress yet on government shutdown, at least as far as I have seen. Someone tell me if you've seen differently. What are the rumors? Stephen D., anything we should be expecting? So we'll look at the economic calendar, even though we're not expecting a lot of governmental announcements because of the shutdown causing delays. We will talk about the opening range. We'll talk about the early week opportunity list, which we already have. Pretty good list, I think. Trading plan section of the week. Don't forget, section 1 of 8. You have just enough time, including holiday weeks where we take a little break, just enough time to squeeze one more trading plan loop where you spend 1 week for each section on all 8 sections, and then you start 2026 not thinking, hey, I'm going to try to be a better trader. You're thinking, I'm expecting to be a better trader come January 1st. Because I just put in a real focused effort on improving my trading plan. Expectations. All right, let's get into it. I got a little reminder here in yellow that I need to have a chat with ChatGPT about the model. We came up with the same score. For those of you who didn't know, we had a new feature that we implemented on Sunday where we have instructed and trained an AI model with our market posture process. Every component, what the component's for, how to read it, what charts to use. Then we fed it the charts. How did we do? Well, our score came out 4.25. That's a half a point better. That's a nice stabilizing score. A lot of folk hoping for the Santa rally. I'm one of them, which tends to kick off in the last week of October. Here we are. Here we are. But let's walk through what we thought and then what the model thought. But we thought 1.25, no change. 1.25, no change. Our short term improved by a point, as did the ChatGPT's analysis. My volume score stayed the same, whereas ChatGPT said, you know what? I think it needs to go up 1/4 point. My major market stayed the same. ChatGPT dropped 1/4 point, though that was one where, as it gave me the rationale, I was like, wait a second. You're interpreting a move from Russell to NASDAQ as a shift out of favorable conditions when it's not. We have and or, right? Logic when it comes to major market. We can have the Russell and or the NASDAQ. We can't really have the NASDAQ and or the Russell. We need the NASDAQ in place. Small caps are not going to carry the day. That's something that we know for sure. Can technology carry the day? Absolutely it can, right? Absolutely. So I feel like that it was a little bit off base with its assessment. But like I said, I'm not trying to retrofit it, so I'm going to have a conversation and be like, here's what you may or may not have missed. We'll see if it adjusts next week. So if it didn't, it might have even been a little bit higher than me. It might have been 4.5 instead of a 4.25, which I know there are several out there who are at that level. Some people, I believe, Stephen D, aren't you at a 5? Aren't you a little bit more bullish? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not quite that high. Who's the highest? Who thinks they have the highest score? Yes, 5. Okay, Stephen D. If anyone's more bullish than Stephen D, let me know. I'm very curious to see where everybody else stands. But the gist of it, now let's go down to VIX. This is another one where I raised my score back 1/4 point. We dropped from 1.25 to 0.75 to 0.5, and now we're back to 0.75. ChatGPT agreed and also gave it the same score. And so ultimately, we're at the same place. We're ultimately at the same place, 4.25. It was a fascinating experiment. For those of you who missed it, you should make sure you come next Sunday to watch our AI model at work. But what is the ultimate read on this? 4.25 looks good. What are our futures doing today? Well, U.S.-China talks tee up a trade deal for Trump and Xi. That's the big news. You can see all the rare earth stocks that were rallying because China was withholding. Now it's giving it back. So what the market giveth, the market taketh away. But the futures are strong. 0.85 for the S&P, 0.54 for the Dow, 1.3 for the NASDAQ, 1.05 for the Russell. You can see the VIX. We said this last week. We're like, it could just keep on driving lower. We can't discount that as a possibility. And in fact, that is exactly exactly what happened. Let's go start taking a look at some things. Let's get some charts up in here. A couple of stocks we're in and watching. There's NVIDIA. Nice little 2% move today. Almost catching back up with our first line, not our hiccup line. So would love to see this thing move along these lines now. Here's the SPY. Bam, look at that. All the way up. And in fact, it's up touching that red line where we're like, hey, if our market gets up to that red line, I'm going to possibly raise my long-term score. We just raised our short-term score. We haven't touched the long-term score in quite a while. Yeah, there's some definite possibilities working their way through with this strength coming in. So good start there. S&P's up almost 1%. And all of a sudden, this little move turns into a decent move. Here is the VIX. And just like that, where are we? We're almost back down to this low. This low is at 1529. We're at 1567. So very close. We got through all of this. We got to it, right? When we actually, because of this, and I got to say, I feel like this is a reversal type candle, like the market's overreacted type of a candle. We were able to pick out 3 others that looked like that. 2 out of the 3 really sort of established blow-off type tops where it's like, oh. But it just came down, and then it kept coming down, and then coming down, and then more, and then here we are today. This is what we said. It could just keep driving down until it gets to where you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not really worried about a higher low anymore. I feel like as we broke through here and now are breaking through here, the VIX is showing us a whole different side. It looks great. How's everybody feeling this morning looking at that VIX? Not bad, right? Okay, let's go to the top of our list and see how everything's looking. Apple. It's a tough one because, as I said, you could trade it flaggish. You could trade it like a flag. Like you could say this is the flag and we're breaking out of that, and maybe it catches a couple of days before earnings. Earnings is on Thursday after market, so okay. AbbVie trying to stabilize after a hiccup. Yeah, the VIX does look good today, Steven. I agree. Not much time before earnings, though, on that one. Archer Daniels, I told you, it felt weird and choppy. It just didn't feel like there was like defensiveness going into this stock. It's just kind of chopping around today, gapped up. Where's my money? Show me the money. Amazon. So Amazon popped all the way back up. It's got earnings soon. It's good to see it recovering. I mean, I haven't really felt like there's been a lot to trade on Amazon. But Amazon is definitely an 800-pound gorilla. We would love for Amazon to be doing better. The pre-market bid ask. On which, David, which one were you looking at? On SPY. You know what? I only saw I saw these numbers here, but I didn't see the bid ask prior, unfortunately. ANET. So again, we talked about ANET as kind of like, this looks interesting, even though it chopped around a little bit, and here it is, still making a move. APH, a little bit overextended, just had earnings, waiting for a pullback. AVGO, trying to turn a little bit. AXP. I need AXP to pull back. There's nothing there for me yet. BAC, kind of the same thing. Citigroup looks kind of interesting, though. If I come in and I say, this is what I'm thinking, Citi has an interest. Where does this end? 105.89. I don't know. Maybe. Caterpillar just looks good for a turn. Unfortunately, you have earnings in a day, so there's really nothing there for us. CCJ still trying to move. We put a trade on this guy back here. It's moving. It's up almost another 1%. That's doing okay. CLS popped up. Earnings came. They come tonight after market. So, yeah, be careful there. Capital One, overextended. Coinbase. Nothing there yet. Earnings coming this week. Cisco, a bit overextended. Delta, kind of sideways. DoorDash, trying to move still. It dropped a little too far. I was looking for it to hold and turn from here. And then it dropped, and then it dropped, and then it's like, now we're below the 50. Trying to get back above the 50. 8 minutes into today. It's not much yet, though. Here's the Dow. 0.5% up. DocuSign still grinding out. Hasn't been able to get back above this 72.5 level, but it also isn't dropping, so we'll see. Ford. Big move Friday on earnings, pulling back now. GE still grinding out higher. Gold, major pullback still on gold. We said be careful with the precious metals. Some people think it's still got some bullishness, and that could be. But right now, I would say be careful as it's showing some signs of profit taking and moving about. Oh, Google. Look at Google. Made the move. Just got there a few days too late. I ended up closing mine here. Made money on it, but it definitely popped higher. Son of a gun. Goldman Sachs. Goldman looks pretty good, actually. All right, Goldman looks pretty good. It broke the consolidation. For me, it was kind of like, no. Boom. Could flirt around up in here, but I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that next higher low. That's what I'm hoping to find and participate in. Another one of ours, Hood. Same kind of a thing. We got our signal, but then we got a hiccup. Hiccup never broke support. It definitely tested. I hope that you survived the test, and is now making the trajectory that we would be hoping. So I hope you have a piece of that on still, if not the entire thing. So the current alerts all look good. They're all moving. They're all making money. We'll see if we can't get a continuation. This week, Howmet, a little overextended. IBM. IBM is just on a crazy gap down, get it all back, open flat, make a huge move. This 2-day move right here, that was something. 50, 45 points in those 2 days. 45 points. Intel, no. IWM, still going, still trying. Lumentum, Lumentum. Yeah, we talked about this one. And then, bam, it goes. Anybody happen to be participating? I would love to hear if somebody put this on. Love, love, love. It did look a bit choppy. I mean, it was a bit sideways, still above the 50, which meets our parameters. But I agree, it was a bit, it wasn't like just this oh, look how amazing it is. Meta. Meta. Yeah, I mean it moved. It's trying. Google's been stronger. Morgan Stanley looks pretty good for financials. Microsoft still going. Look at that. We talked about this one and we're like, I don't know, and it just sort of kind of whipped out a trade out of the blue. Interestingly. Micron still looks strong. Netflix does not. Absolutely does not. NOC, Northrop, looked like it wanted to try to go from here, and now it's on a little hiccup. If it hiccups and doesn't break, I would actually still think about trading it. Hey, Vladimir, good to see you. Yeah, this is not a bad start. Netflix is another example of why not to trade before. Yeah. It can suck the life out of you, right? Can suck the life out of you. Nvidia's looking nice and strong as we hoped. I hope your patience paid off. Palantir, David said. Okay. Palantir was a bit like Lumentum. Just kind of chopping for a while there, but all of a sudden, going up. No, Nvidia won't announce until November. They just announced here in late August. So you'll notice November 19th. Yeah, you'll notice even either of these lines, I don't have any floaters. Nobody likes floaters. I'm always looking for these little icons out here. Like, is it in my trade? So with the answer being no, we're good for this to keep moving, hopefully. Looking to take some profits up in this, 195, 196 area if it gets there, and then push from there. Palantirs, it's kind of, this one does have earnings on November 3rd. I would still have a little bit of time. There was nothing here that made me think this was about to pop. Anybody trading Palantir? Let me know. Believe me, I love Palantir. It's one of my most favorites. If I looked at the last 2 years, I'd say it's probably one of my top 3 most profitable stocks over the last 3 years. Yeah, quite a few trades. Roblox. Let's take a look at that. I would say Roblox looks like it's trying to set up something sitting on the 50, but it's got earnings on Thursday before market. So you really only have today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Yeah. Reddit trying to make a recovery. So Reddit failed. Oh, it failed so miserably too. It was moving so strongly. Such a strong, it moved from 100 to almost 300. It was a very strong acceleration through here. And then it just sort of fell apart. Bam. But now, our line of consolidation, our angle changed. It went from, oh, that's so horrible. It went from here to here, and now it's breaking, though it's got earnings. It does that? Is that what it was? Okay. Understood. Rocket Lab. Let's go take a look at Rocket Lab. That was kind of a maybe for me, where I was like, hey, this thing popped and it's a little pullback and trying to move again. I'm going to say that's a maybe. Silver, still kind of in this retracement mode. Like gold, as we said, be careful with precious metals. There's some chop in there, and we're not quite sure where these things supposed to be priced. SoFi looks okay, but earnings are tomorrow. So, if there's anything left in your SoFi trade, bear with me. We're at the end of the road with earnings. Lasted longer than I would have thought as it chopped around a little bit. I don't think anyone has anything left on that, do they? I wouldn't think so. Hoping to recoup the drawdown. Yeah, okay. Okay, here's the SPY pushing on up to new highs. Look at that. Doing just fine. Just fine. Tesla's chopping around as Elon is lobbying for his $1 trillion salary. That's insane to me. That is insane to me. TSM TSM we actually were looking at, but it's kind of chopping a little bit. It doesn't look as strong. Nvidia's up 2.5%. TSM's only up 0.5%. It's already given some back. Uber back in play. Is Melody here today? I thought I saw her, but no, I don't. Back just kind of hovering around that $96. You can see like it orients around this line. You got there here, stayed around there, back up. Bullish dollars, kind of flat. Visa, kind of flat. The VIX. VIX is in a good place. The VIX is, I mean, at this point, if the VIX bounces from here, I'm not like, oh, that's a higher low. That feels like it's escalating. I feel like that thing has really, come down quite a bit. This feels very much set up that if it does rally up, I'm thinking maybe like this area, it pops up, doesn't even get here, rolls over. That's a great lower high. That would definitely raise my score. Yeah, feels good, looks good. Nothing wrong with that. Walmart, still setting up. I still like Walmart. You can see the midpoint of this candle seems to be holding. Waiting to see if we're going to get a turn here. If we're going to bounce up out of this. And where's it going to get to? 101 to 109, 8 or 9 points. It's about the same as these, about the same as this. I'd probably put 115 as my target. Anybody looking for Walmart? Let me know. Let's take a quick look at the XLs. What news are we getting, or were we supposed to get today? What else? Microsoft upgrade leaves 99% of analysts bullish. Okay. Is this a good time to buy a house? What do you guys think the answer to that question is? I'm going to have to say no. Seems like it's not a good time. Okay. Economic calendar. Today we were supposed to get durable goods minus transportation. We're not getting that data. If you're Elon. Bob Cord just bought Walmart. Okay. I see the pullback on Walmart. Looking viable. Price index tomorrow. Consumer confidence tomorrow. That's supposed to come. Consumer confidence is supposed to stay at the 94. We'd love to see that get back up to 100. If not even over 100. Tomorrow, the Fed meets. They meet for 2 days. On Wednesday, they will announce. We're not expecting any of this. We don't care about home sales, but we do care about the decision, which we're expecting to be a 1/4 point interest rate cut. We're expecting them to say that they're going to continue in December, but we're also hoping that they say that things are maybe looking better. I'd love to hear that. I would love to hear that. Thursday. Oh, Stephen D said they're thinking a jumbo cut. I don't think so. I don't know. Let's go look at our Fed watch here in just a minute. That's a lot to ask for from a Fed who's not even able to get any data right now. But maybe so. Jerry Bear has a press conference. Then on Thursday, no jobless claims. GDP was anticipated to drop from 3.8 to 2.8. We don't love seeing GDP drop back below 3 while inflation stays at 3. Right, you can see here 2.9, 2.7, but none of this is supposed to come. We're not expecting income spending or PCE for this week. It's likely to kick it. Let's take a quick peek. Let's take a quick peek at November or for this week. 3% of people think it's going to stay where it is. 96% think it's going to drop a quarter. There's really not much expectation priced in for this week, for this week's meeting to have more than a quarter of a point. However, if we go to December, you can see that no one literally is thinking it's going to stay here. 6% of people think it's going to stay cut once. 94% say it's going to get cut again. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a jumbo cut is in the cards. I think it's enough to just get the cut itself. As far as that goes. So, yeah. Okay. Let's go take a quick peek at the intraday, the 5-minute. Real tight range in this opening range. We opened up, pushed a little, but came back, held, pushed a little, pushing a little. We still are at the right. So if we break the lows, we may fill this gap. As long as it stays up here and breaks higher, should be okay. We know it's a long day. We're only 30 minutes in. Did I see a lot of new trades setting up? Not really. Not yet. I don't have high expectations of finding an alert today, but maybe. Let's keep our eye on it and see. Maybe. It's more managing what we have, I would say, at this point. Walmart was close. There's a few things that were close. So, yeah. Okay, lastly, but not least, Lee. Trading plan outline. Section 1, it's all about you. Who's driving the ship? Here's what I tell people. Give me 3 strengths, 3 weaknesses. They're just, you could literally put like a word or a sentence. It doesn't need to be like, oh, well, I think that I do this. And sometimes if this happens, then I look the other way. And right? It doesn't need to be, it just needs to be like, hey, what are you good at? What about you makes it so that you are good at trading? And then what do you struggle with? To this day, I'm a poor loser. David Wilson said he worked on the trading plan over the weekend. Bar is set. David set the bar. Everybody else needs to follow suit. Yeah, to this day, my weakness, I still put that I'm a poor loser. Just a poor loser. It is what it is. I got to struggle with it all the time. But your weaknesses will help you when we get to Section 8 that we just wrapped up last week. Improvement strategies, setting goals. What do we set goals? We don't just set numeric goals. We set trading process goals. We set trader goals. What can I do to be a better trader? What can I do to make a better process? Right? So things like that. Commitment and discipline, 1 paragraph. Mission statement, like a business. What's important? What are your values? What are you building here? 1 paragraph. Vision statement. I know they sound similar, but they're very different. Vision statement is this: trading, if done correctly, has the ability to change your life. How? If you're successfully trading in 5 years, what does your life look like? That's the vision. What are you doing? Traveling? Donating? Being philanthropic? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's motivational. Use it. That's it. 3 bullets. 3 bullets. 1 paragraph, 1 paragraph, 1 paragraph. That's all you need. That's the starting point. Then from there, it'll expound, you'll whatever. But give me that, and we'll be in the right place. Okay, you guys, it's good to see you all. I will see you tomorrow morning. No, I won't. I have a medical appointment tomorrow. I have to go get another MRI to get ready for my upcoming surgery. Glenn will be here tomorrow. Glenn will be leading us tomorrow, so I will not see you. Thank you, David. I appreciate that, my friend. So I will see you guys Wednesday morning. I'll see you tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. So it's good to see everyone. Have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow night. Glenn will bring it to you tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys, as always. Happy trading.